Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News Business, here at the beautiful El Dorado Spa Resort in Mexico's Riviera Maya. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Before we start, remember to follow us on all our social media networks, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and you can catch us daily on MexicoNewsNetwork.com for relevant stories and news. Let's start with today's show. A consortium including the construction company controlled by billionaire Carlos Slim has been awarded the new $13 billion airport contract for Mexico City. The construction arm of Slim's Grupo Carso and his majority-owned FCC submitted a bid of 84.8 billion Mexican pesos. The consortium also includes Spain's Acciona and Mexican firms ICA, Constructora y Edificadora, GIA&A, Promotora y Desarrolladora Mexicana, and the construction unit of Grupo Hermes. The win was announced at an official event in Mexico City, as well as on the airport's official Twitter account. The telecoms tycoon edged out a rival consortium headed by Portuguese builder Mota Engil and Mexico's Omega, which had submitted more expensive bids. This mega project was designed by the son-in-law of Carlos Slim, Fernando Romero, and the British architect Norman Foster, winner of the Pritzker Prize, considered the Nobel of Architecture. In my view, the new terminal building will bring a huge economic uplift to Mexico City. Serving around 68 million passengers annually, it will create a new hub regionally for Mexico City. In other news, Japan's finance minister has jumped to the defense of Toyota after the company was attacked by President-elect Donald Trump. Toyota, the world's biggest vehicle manufacturer, is building a new factory in Guanajuato, in central Mexico, which will produce its Corolla model that is currently made in Mississippi and Ontario, Canada. In response to Donald Trump's pledge to impose a 35% tariff on cars manufactured in Mexico and exported to the US, Toyota said that in 2015 we exported over 160,000 vehicles made in the US to over 40 countries. Mr. Trump, misidentifying the firm's intentions to place the factory, thinking it was in Baja California, sent out a tweet saying that the firm should place its operations in the US or face paying big border taxes to bring its cars into the USA. Japan's finance minister responded to the criticism of one of the country's largest exporters. Toyota is responsible for large employment at US plants such as in Kentucky. It's questionable whether the new US president has a grasp of how many vehicles Toyota builds in the US, said Taro Aso, according to the Financial Times. With more than $21.9 billion in direct investment in the United States, 10 manufacturing facilities, 1,500 dealerships and 136,000 employees, Toyota looks forward to collaborating with the Trump administration to serve in the best interests of consumers and the automotive industry, the company said. In my view, if Toyota want to appease Donald Trump, they'll have to find ways to boost production in the United States. In other headlines, for its dedicated work towards healthcare and patients, nursing is the second most important, respected and valued occupation in Mexico, in the context of the National Day of Nursing being celebrated in Mexico this month. Nursing, with 33% of the vote, was only surpassed by firefighting, which ranked first with 49.5% according to the Survey on Public Perception of Science and Technology. Health workers are exposed to various risks, such as serious infectious diseases, from more than 30 potentially dangerous pathogens, such as hepatitis B, C, and HIV. As a result, in 2004, the World Health Organization created the Patient Safety Program as a measure to increase awareness and safety all around the world, including Mexico. In this context, the head of the Division of Professional Studies of the ENEO and UNAM, Guadalupe Leva, commented that as leaders in nursing care, that when they carry out their professional work, they have the necessary security measures that safeguard the integrity and health of both the staff and the patient. From the classrooms, we focus on a diffusion of scientific knowledge for more education and mastery in the appropriate application techniques, and for a greater use of technologies in the various therapies and their replication in health institutions, he said. In my view, reducing accidents related to hospitals and healthcare is a good thing, not only for institutions, but for the patients too. This was all for today. Thank you for joining me. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman, here at the El Dorado Spa Resort in Mexico's Riviera Maya on a typical winter's day. Before we go, don't forget to check out all our social networks, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And you can stay tuned by logging on to MexicoNewsNetwork.com for relevant stories and news. Until next time.